My name is Lara, and I actually really like myself a lot. So honestly, there's a couple favorite things, but I think I'm funny. I'm originally from Midwest City, Oklahoma, but I have been in Colorado for about the last 5 years. And the kind of music I do, I would say maybe soulful singer-songwriter would be like the best encompassing, ambiguous title genre. What draws me to that kind of music, I think, is I love the freedom in it, and that I've just always thought, I just want to be able to write cool things and not feel like you're ever stuck or like typified in one expectation. And so maybe that's why I classify myself in that, because it's just like, I don't know, I just want to be able to write and play what I want and feel like there's the creative freedom within that to move about. I wish that I could say that freedom would have been like a continual theme in my life. Perfection, I think actually kept me from engaging in a lot of things and always wanting to, if I failed, I couldn't handle it. And so it's actually been probably for the last 4 years learning how to fail and fail well, and really like stepping into a place of freedom. I don't mean to be a perfectionist by nature, but it's definitely been like an intentional work of letting go of that and being intentional about like showing process within things and accepting that like the more human I am, the more freedom other people will hopefully feel to be human. And I don't know, I just didn't give myself that permission. And so, I think that's part of it too, is being like, we're all, in this thing together. And wanting to be transparent with that. I think I've learned how to redefine it towards like excellence, and I want to have high standards for myself. I know I have high standards for the people around me too, professionally, but I think as long as you're growing and as long as if you're committed to growth and you're committed to the process, then I think that's all you can, excellence will find itself, I think that will happen. Oh, wow. I would say I've navigated the difference between excellence and perfection truly by failing a lot and putting myself in positions to where it's like, you are going to fail and you're going to practice being kind to yourself and like getting out of your comfort zone. And Colorado's done that for me really well. Whether it was running a half marathon or I like was on a ski team and I had no idea what I was doing, or even like making music. I'm like, I literally have never made an EP before, but like if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. And so let's learn how to do it and like find joy in the journey and joy in the process and know that that brings out good things in us. I have high standards, but it's like balance with I am a laid back person. I was like, oh, it's all fine, and didn't realize that like sometimes I have boundaries that I didn't know I had, and then I had boundaries others didn't know I have until it's been crossed, and then that is very insightful. Oh, wow, the idea of service, and like allowing something to be an offering it feels like really foundational to who I am as a person, of just energetically like rolling out a welcoming mat. And I think the more we bring each other along in the journey, for me, I'm just like, I feel like I have what I need, right? And so then it's like, okay, how can we give that, like welcome others into that and give that away, and not to be like pious or proud. I think for me, the hit came, I realized I had I'm not married, but I had a lot of friends married, family married, and a common theme was like, you get to this crux where you're like, what are we doing? And I'm seeing the worst of you and you're seeing the worst of me, and then like, is forgiveness enough to like move on from that point? And like, can I endure that hurt? And can someone else endure the hurt that I know I will cause because I am imperfect? And so, and like, are things the same after that? Like, are they really the same? And so yeah, realizing that I had this expectation of like, if I can be perfect and if you can be perfect, then we never have to get there. And so we like exist within this confine of like, okay, like say this, don't say that, do this, don't do that. And then being like, God, that's not a way to live. But I also don't like, you know, like where do you find like the healthy balance and freedom and accepting that all of those things can coexist and it doesn't have to be perfect to be good and to be whole. And yeah, I mean, it's my fears, right? I mean, yeah, I remember writing the song and at one point being like, what are you really saying? Like, what are you really afraid of? And I was like, oh, I'm afraid that unconditional love will become based on conditions, you know? And so that's the authenticity of like my own truly like you know, my own stuff. And so I hope, first of all, that people can find themselves in that too and be like, yeah, I have that same fear. And I can't say like, oh, I wrote this nice song and now there's like a bow on it. I'm like, no, I think that fear is still there, but choosing to believe it to be true, that like we can hold things with open hands and like that it won't shatter, right? But that like enduring love and lasting love is like present. And yeah, within my own life this year, I feel like it has been like trial and tribulation and just like sometimes within the same day and sometimes within the same week of just being like, there is great joy and there's great pain, and like how do I make space within myself to be present and to honor those things and to sit with those things as a healthy person, and knowing that we can hold those two things, that like deep grief and deep joy can be friends, and that they're essential to living a life and moving through life. And I feel like for me that has been my story of this last year, is like really learning how to move through pain and move through joy. I don't know, really move through pain and holding my own pain. And that would probably be the most relevant thing. I don't know if it's something that I'm passionate about, but it's, yeah, that would probably be the most relevant thing to me. It rang really true, and so sometimes like finding the words to like talk about perfection, you're like, or the idea of offering, where it's like in my mind I'm just like, that's how you move through life, is it is this continual like invitation. So then to like try and put that into words, you're like, wait, hold on, I've never actually like fully tried to explain this out loud before, other than like, that's just what it is, like that's what it is to like be alive. I don't know, for me. So yeah.